McKinzie, and I am the Artist Liaison for the Filmmakers Cooperative. I have worked at the co-op for almost 3 years now. I started working here actually before I even moved to New York City. I was hired as a social media intern. I was working another remote job here in the city and living at home with family in Connecticut. And then I got the intern role here, and every Friday I would hop on the commuter rail and come into the city. So that's how I started working at the co-op. And then I went on to become the social media manager when I actually moved here and started living in New York. And now I work as the Artist Liaison. So yeah, going on about 3 years. I first learned about the co-op actually when I was a film student at Emerson College. One of my professors was the great Mary Filippo, who has been a co-op member since at least the early 80s. She's an incredible filmmaker. It was under Mary's instruction that I learned how to make films on the Bolex, how to shoot on 16mm and edit on a Steenbeck, and I really fell in love with it, and I fell in love with experimental cinema. Actually, on our first day of class, Mary showed us 2 co-op prints. She showed us Maya Deren's Meshes of the Afternoon and Marie Menken's Go, Go, Go back to back. And that really blew my mind, and I knew from that point forward that this was the line of work that I wanted to be in, and that I really wanted to work for the Filmmakers Cooperative. It was a dream of mine for many years to actually be here, so it's still pretty surreal to me that I get to work here. What are some of my favorite co-op titles? So many. You know, we have over 6,000 films in the collection by over 2,500 artists, and the collection grows each year. We still accept new work. I'd say, especially this time of year, Lights by Marie Menken is a really festive choice. Lynn Sachs, her film Still Life with Woman in 4 Objects. I mentioned my professor who sort of introduced me to the co-op, Mary Filippo. We have most of her work here in the collection on 16mm. Field of Fear, Who Do You Think You Are, Peace of Mind, which is probably my favorite of Mary's. It's a really, really wonderful film. And we also have a filmmaker in the collection who was really an integral part of the founding of the New American Cinema movement, the co-op, all of that was going on in the 60s, this filmmaker Edward Owens. Not a lot of people for many years saw Owens' films or knew about him. He was an incredible filmmaker, originally from Chicago, a black gay filmmaker who was making really groundbreaking work in the 60s, pre-Stonewall, pre-queer liberation. And his films were sort of forgotten for a while. I'd say about 10 years ago, the co-op collaborated with Indie Collect and the Chicago Film Society to digitize Edward's films and make them more publicly accessible. They are really staples in our collection and just some of the most beautiful films that you will ever see. They're so gorgeous. A fun fact about the co-op that I think more people should know, I actually recently learned through a friend of the co-op, Mina Mattes, who is doing some research and looking through old Village Voice articles that our co-founder Jonas Mikas was writing about the co-op. In the 60s, from 1965 to 1968, we ran an exhibition operation called the Filmmakers Cinematheque, which showed Jack Smith's Flaming Creatures, which Jonas Mikas and Ken and Flo Jacobs were actually arrested for showing, and it was a case that went to court and became sort of a major part of our history and the history of experimental film in America. And as part of that operation, Jonas would refer in his articles in the Village Voice to the co-op and the Cinematheque as the filmmaker supermarket. This was a nickname that he actually gave the organization. That's never been something that I encountered or knew about until this recent find. So in addition to being the Filmmakers Cooperative and the Filmmakers Cinematheque, we are also, according to our history, the filmmaker supermarket, which I think is a very cool name for this organization. The co-op, to me, means so much. I really think it is maybe the most important film organization that is around today. We are an open access, non-exclusive distribution network and community center for moving image artists who work across all different types of modalities. There is no barrier to submission. If you have a film or a video, you can deposit it with us and it will be distributed and it will be featured alongside the work of so many avant-garde legends. The Co-op really is founded on these tenets of community and freedom of expression and anti-censorship. The Co-op has been at the forefront of these social movements and of these movements in filmmaking that have really broken new ground and provided new ways of seeing. For me, the Co-op really means freedom of artistic expression. Well, there are many wonderful signatures on this incredible wall of legends, many of whom have unfortunately passed on. My favorite signature probably is Barbara Hammer's signature here. She drew a hammer next to her name, which I think is very clever. Barbara Hammer is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers, and seeing her work as an undergraduate student, a film like Dream Age, for example, really blew my mind and really made me fall in love with experimental film. So I love Barbara Hammer very much and am very influenced by her, and I love her signature on this wall. I think it's wonderful that we have it. There are so many ways to support the Co-op and to become involved with the Co-op. As I said, we collect new work every year, so if you're a film or video artist and you have work that you would like to deposit in the collection, there's no barrier to submission, so share your work with us. We would be happy to distribute it. As the year comes to a close and we start preparing our programming and events for the new year, we are accepting donations through PayPal, so please visit our website and our social media, and we will have the link there if you would like to donate to help support the Co-op in the new year. We are a small arts nonprofit, and so we do rely on the support of our community, our incredible community here in New York and around the world, to sustain us. So please, if you are able to, give the gift of a donation this holiday season to the Filmmakers Cooperative. It is so appreciated, and we truly value everyone in our community and are excited to continue programming film screenings and collaborating with different arts organizations around New York and distributing new work in the new year.